Hello BookTube, this is Weekly Reads. Victober was a dud. Victober is a storied BookTube event in which participants read Victorian literature in the month of October. There are often a series of prompts, but really all you need to do is read something written and published in the reign of Queen Victoria to qualify. Although I think you have to have been written and published in British Isles. But anyway, so I participated in Victober for a number of years, although I've never had success. And I had hoped this year that by focusing on an anthology of poetry, I might be able to break that my lack of success. It didn't work. I decided to read the new Oxford Book of Victorian Verse, edited by Christopher Ricks. And right from the get-go, I just did not get on with this book at all. The first poet is Thomas Lovell Beddoes, and no. And I didn't get into it, and I really don't think I don't know. So I bailed, and I think this bailing and my general lack of success with Victorian literature has, I think, really honed in on some thoughts about my personal collection. That maybe, as much as I would like to have a collection, what I call classics, canonical, modern, contemporary fiction, poetry, drama, that collection really shouldn't be too large. That I should collect the books that I enjoy reading and preferably would love to reread, rather than having a set collection that I have because it's sort of what you do. So anyway, but I'll think more about this later. But for now, I'm kind of done with Victorian literature. So on Sunday, I decided to try to finish Waterloo Sunrise by John Davis. Waterloo Sunrise is a history of London in the 1960s and 70s, told in 16 essays. I have been working my way through this book for about a month and a half now. I first read it in mid to late August. Didn't get on with it. The first few essays are very dense, very packed with minutiae, and boring. And so I bailed. That bail nagged at me, as a lot of my history bails have. So I eventually came back to it when I had some free reading time that I hadn't planned on, and I decided to read an essay or two, and it worked, and so I kept doing that, and I slowly finished the book. And so on Sunday, I completely finished the book. I read the last few essays, and I really enjoyed it. I think the later essays are a lot stronger, a lot snappier, a lot more enjoyable than some of the earlier ones are. Particularly the essays entitled Containing Racism, The London Experience, 1957 to 1968 was really good. Unquiet Grove, the 1976 Notting Hill Carnival Riot is really good. Strains of Labor in the Inner City is fantastic. And Selling Swinging London, or Coming to Terms with the Tourist, that one is also really good. So I'm very happy to say that this is a bail redemption achieved. I so very rarely get to say that. it worked. And I'm also writing a review of Waterloo Sunrise for Open Letters Monthly. I mean, Open Letters Review. It's no longer Open Letters Monthly and hasn't been that for years now. But anyway, I will be having a review of Waterloo Sunrise up sometime next week. I'm in the process of editing my review right now, so hopefully once I upload this video, I will get to work on that and get it to Steve hopefully sometime this weekend. So after I finished Waterloo Sunrise, I decided to go ahead and start my readings of the 2022 Kondo Prize shortlist. I now have all 8 of the books, so it's go time. I don't know necessarily if I will be able to finish all 8 books before the finalists are announced, but we shall see. So I started with All That She Carried. The Journey of Ashley Sack, A Black Family Keepsake by Tiya Miles. This is the story of Ashley Sack, a sack created by an enslaved woman named Rose, whose daughter Ashley was going to be sold. And to sort of provide for her daughter, Rose used the sack and placed a number of objects: a dress, several handfuls of pecans, a lock of her hair, and a whole lot of love. This sack eventually passed to Ashley's granddaughter Ruth, who embroidered an inscription telling the story of her grandmother and her great-grandmother. Eventually, this sack found its way into a Nashville flea market and was picked up, recognized as something significant, and was passed on to a plantation museum, which then loaned it out to the NMHAAC, which is a museum associated with the Smithsonian that focuses on African American history. And as Tiya Miles explores the history of Ashley Sack, she also explores the experience of Black women in slavery and in freedom through a number of cultural artifacts, dressmaking, pecans, and it's I don't quite know what to make of it, honestly. The subject matter, subject matters are very interesting and very moving, but I never quite connected to the style. Miles uses a style that I think is better suited to literary criticism. Now, admittedly, as a work of art, Ashley Sack is open to that kind of criticism. But I don't know, I never liked the style, the usage of literary theory, and particularly drawing on 20th century novels. Just, I don't know, yeah. So I like the book, but I never truly connected with it. So I don't know. I think I need to ruminate a lot more with this and really sort of crystallize what I think about it. And maybe try to see if I could find other histories that utilize a similar technique or sort of theoretical structure. Also really looking into the theories that Tiya Miles uses to underpin her arguments and her narrative, and see really what I make of those. And hopefully I might be able to sort of remember and like look for those sources and stuff and see what I make of it. But anyway, so anyway, let's move on to what I'm currently reading and that I am unambiguously enjoying, and that is Cuba, An American History by Ada Ferrer. This is a history of Cuba that also draws rather heavily on American history and how Cuba and America, meaning the United States, histories are deeply tied together. I'm so far enjoying the book. I'm about to begin the part where Ferrer discusses Cuba's long war of independence from Spain, and so I'm enjoying it. And I'll talk a lot more about Cuban American history next Friday when I have finished it, which I'm thinking I might be able to make it this weekend. I mean, I'll finish it this weekend for sure. Whether it's on Saturday or if I have to go a bit into Sunday, I don't know. But I'm hoping I'll be able to read by the next time I do weekly reads, or next weekly reads. I will have not only Cuba and American history finished, but also 2 more books on the shortlist. So I will by that point have read half the shortlist. And those 2 books I hope to get to are Aftermath, Life and the Fallout of the Third Reich by 1945 to 1955 by Harald Jahner, translated by, because I know this is a working translation, Shaun Whiteside. So I'm really looking forward to this. I've had this in, this is the first of the shortlist that I added in, that was months ago, and I really wanted it when it first came out, and I'm really looking forward to finally getting to it. And then I will read afterwards In the Forest of No Joy by J.P. Daughton. Its subtitle is The Congo-Ocean Railroad and the Tragedy of French Colonialism, which I'm also looking forward to getting to. So that's my plan for the coming reading week. So far, I think I might have solved my ergonomics issue. So basically, earlier today when I did my book haul, I was complaining that I had like the new books over here, but nowhere to put them after I've shown them. But now I think I figured out where I could do. If I have my computer on a kind of at an angle, I can have the books I'm going to talk about on one side, and then put the books that once I finish them over on the other side. So it seems to work, although they are also very precarious. So anyway, see how that works. Anyway, so yeah, that's all I've got for weekly reads. Next week I will do, definitely there will be some book hauls next week. I have a number of books coming in. Some more manga, more history, a lot more history. So there'll be some book hauls. I'll be trying to do some book tags and maybe a few other videos. I want to try to do a discussion video, even though I've never had much success with those. But anyway, so see what all I can come up with. Anyway, so anyway, BookTube, that's all I've got for today. Thank you. Have a great weekend, and I will see you hopefully on Monday. So then, BookTube, thank you, and stay safe.